Hello, welcome to When the Smoke Clears. I am the recovery plug. What's going on, everybody? I hope you guys are doing great today. I know my day's going pretty good. Well, guess what, man? Today's another day. Great, man. Another day that's beautiful. Another day in sobriety. Another day in positivity. Another day spirituality. Another day, like I say, another great day to be alive. Yes, it is. So how's it going, man? I hope you guys are doing great. I know that I am. Today is my second Saturday of the month. I get to go to the Creative Collective Day over at the San Antonio Library downtown and do a little guitar playing, and maybe I'll get up there and sing a song or something. I have no idea, but guitar playing for sure. I like going out there and doing that. Get yourself out of the box a little bit. Do something different. You know what I mean? Something that's positive. Something that's just out of the ordinary. Something that I'm not used to doing, and especially being down to the world of addiction is a way to do positive things. You know what I mean? Get yourself out of the box and replace uh, all those negative things with positive ones. And yeah, so at any rate, if you would please, before we get the rest of this video started, if you would please join me in a moment of silence, followed by a serenity prayer for the addict who still suffers, and for those of us who are still in the struggle that keeps us bound down in this toxic world that we live in, man. So yeah, if you would please, a moment of silence. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, wisdom to know the difference. All righty, well, let's get started. Check this out. I am going to let me grab these glasses, because what we're going to do today is I'm going to continue reading onto the book that we've been doing, and it's The Cosmic Power Within You. This book right here. And we've been going through that book, chapter by chapter, and then, I'll read the chapter, and after that, we'll give a brief summary, and then, throw in, my opinion of what we read, and where I relate to that, and in my personal journey and that sort of thing. And perhaps, the things that we read and the things that I share in my own personal journeys will help somebody else. On their path. And so maybe it's something somebody needs to hear, right? So, but anyway, let's open the book up and get started. And today it's chapter 15. I'm going to put these things on right over these so that we can read, right? Okay, well, chapter 13 is titled How to Be Serene in This Changing World. It starts off like this. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "Nothing can bring you peace but the triumph of principles. Knowledge of the principles of your mind will add to your peace, poise, balance, and security." For example, the engineer follows the principles of mathematics when constructing a bridge. He understands stresses, strains, and complexities, scientific calculations based upon immutable laws which never fail. Likewise, the chemist and the psychist, the physicist, obey universal laws and principles underlying these forces. You must discover the cosmic laws of the principles of your mind and live according to the principles of health, happiness, and serenity of mind. The law of your mind is referred to again and again in the greatest of all creative and dynamic books, the Bible, and that is the law of belief. As thou hast believed, so be it done unto thee. That's in chapter Matthew 8:13. To believe is to accept something as true, and whatever your conscious mind accepts as true, whether good or bad, your subconscious mind brings to pass. You are what you contemplate. The following truth morning, noon, and night, and you will find peace in this changing world. And it goes like this. It says, "Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think of these things." And this is in Philippians 4:8. And it goes on to the next story in the chapter goes on entitled How an Alcoholic Found Inner Peace and Freedom. And it starts out like this. Some months ago, I interviewed an alcoholic whose wife had left him and whose two daughters no longer recognized him or spoke to him. He was in a state of deep depression and melancholia. I explained to him that his sincere desire to give up alcohol was the first step in healing, to which he readily agreed. The next step was to realize that there was a cosmic power within him which would take away all cravings and would compel him to assert his freedom from the habit. I suggested that he practice a simple mental technique several times daily by imagining that I was congratulating him on freedom and believing in the picture of his mind. He continued to do this for about 4 weeks, 3 times daily for about 5 minutes each time. Finally, the mental picture was objectified in his experience. A new habit pattern had been established, and he gradually established the mental equivalent through thinking and feeling his freedom until finally the mental picture was objectified. He said to me, I have discovered the power of my own mind. I am free. I have a peace and serenity of mind, which I never knew before, and I am grateful. The Bible says, acquaint thyself with him and be at peace. That's in Job 22:21. This man had acquainted himself with the power of his thought and imagination, to which the cosmic power within him responded. Peace comes to you as you discover the principles of your mind and apply them constructively in your life. Next story goes on entitled, She Learned to Forget Bitterness and Found Serenity. Some months ago, I visited a woman in a local hospital. She was suffering from acute high blood pressure and acute colitis. She began to recount all her former mistakes and errors, and she condemned herself with her stupidity. She said to me that she hated another girl who had undermined her in the office, and she was completely bogged down by destructive emotions which were snarled up in her subconscious mind. I sat quietly with her for some time and then told her what William James, the father of American psychology, said. The mark of a genius is to know what to overlook. That is, if you must turn away from the past, i.e. forgive and forget, if you want to be in perfect health and to have peace of mind. I quoted the passage from the Bible and emphasized the fact that it was one of the greatest therapeutic agents available to bring about the mental and physical health, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forth unto those things which are before. I press toward the mark for the prize. That's in Philippians 3:13-14. I explained to her, the prize that you are seeking is peace of mind. If you have peace of mind, you also will have balance of equilibrium in your body. Peace means balance. Equilibrium means equanimity and serenity, which are due to a sense of oneness with God, the infinite, the whole of life. Jesus said to sick people, Thy faith had made thee whole. Go in peace. That's in Luke 4:48. Because their minds were in turmoil and full of discord, confusion, inner warfare, and anger. I explained to this woman that she could get back on the beam and find the peace that passeth understanding, and that peace of mind is not escapism or a retreat from life. On the contrary, it is a constructive attitude of mind where you are vitally interested in the welfare of others and where you are dynamic, creative person full of creativity, love, and goodwill to all. I wrote out the following prayer for her to use frequently during the day, and it goes like this. I fully and freely forgive everyone who has ever hurt me. I release them, and it is done with forever. Whenever I think of any of them, I bless that person. I forget the past and give my attention to the glorious future of perfect health, harmony, and peace. My mind is poised, serene, and calm in the atmosphere of peace and goodwill which surrounds me. I feel a deep, abiding strength and freedom from all fear. I now sense and feel the love and beauty of the cosmic healing presence. Day by day, I become more aware of God's love. All that is false fades away. I now allow the cosmic river of peace and healing power to flow through my whole body. I rest in the everlasting arms of peace. My peace is the deep, unchanging cosmic peace, the peace of God. She practiced this prayer frequently during the day, and when I visited her again in about 2 weeks, she was very happy because she felt so much better. She was being released from the hospital the next day and had been pronounced healed. She said to me, I know all my troubles was hate and resentment. I feel clean inside now, truly peace and health and happiness. The next story goes on, entitled How an Executive Found True Serenity. Following a lecture in Honolulu a few years ago, an outstanding business executive asked me to have dinner with him that evening, as he had a very serious problem and thought I could help him. He was urban, philosophical, and wealthy, and he seemed well balanced and poised, but in the intimacy of our conversation, he revealed that within him was a seething cauldron full of hostility, resentment, and suppressed rage. He asked me rather pathetically, can I have peace of mind, serenity, and how can I get it? I want to sleep nights, of course, I told him. How to acquire a basic tranquility and inner quietness, I continued. Real power comes from inner quietness. The quiet and serene mind gets things done. Says God is peace and is at the very center of your being. The Bible says, peace I leave with you. My peace I give unto you. Not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. Thou, God, that is, will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee. In the midst of all the business difficulties and conflicts in the daily life, keep your mind fixed on God and faith and confidence, and you will find his golden river of peace flowing through your mind and heart. Give the best that you have to your work. Be creative and advance the good in life. Wish for all men what you wish for yourself. Contribute your talents and abilities to some good cause in your neighborhood. You are to absorb with yourself. Commit to memory the passage I gave you, and every morning when you go to work, close the door of the office and affirm these cosmic truths. You will find their therapeutic healing qualities flowing through your mind and through every atom of your being. He said, I feel better already. I now know what my problem is and what the answer is. And it is that I give peace to thyself by staying my mind on God and not on my problems. Last year when I visited Hawaii, I met him again, and he really is a new man. He found the serenity and peace within himself. He has framed on the wall his home this beautiful, soul-stirring spiritual gem. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee. Isaiah 26:3. The next story goes, how you can find complete serenity in any circumstance. It says, Edwin Markham said, at the heart of the cyclone tearing the sky is a place of central calm. In the midst of a great hurricane or cyclone, the aviator knows that if he flies into the center, there are stillness and calm. In the midst of you dwells cosmic power, which is all bliss, absolute peace, boundless love, absolute harmony and joy. Tune in mentally and emotionally with these qualities and attributes of cosmic wisdom, and you will find yourself spiritually refreshed, replenished, and calm. Your mind is a receptive medium for all the propaganda, opinions, and erroneous impressions coming from the world outside. Some of these impressions are good, but most are very negative natured, except your mind is tuned in with the cosmic power and wisely sifts the chaff from the wheat. The negative and erroneous impressions take root and cause trouble, such as sickness, confusion, fear, and limitations of all kinds. The world or mass mind believes in both good and evil powers and in sickness, misery, misfortune, catastrophes of all kinds. If you perceive in these worldly beliefs and neglect truth in the cosmic power, you shall have tribulations, trials, and difficulties. The Bible says, "Be of good cheer. I have overcome the world," the mass mind, John 16:33. Be of good cheer. Let your knowledge of the cosmic power overcome your problems. Begin now to fill your mind with concepts of harmony, peace, love, joy, and right action. Become aware of your inert God-given powers, which enable you to give attention, devotion, and love to ideas which heal, bless, inspire, elevate, dignify, and fill your soul with joy. You will always move in the direction of the idea which dominates your mind. Your awareness and confidence in the cosmic power and its healing presence which respond to you fills your mind and your heart and enables you to soar aloft over all obstacles to the haven of rest within yourself, where you may abide in the conviction that with the cosmic power of God all things are possible. Maintaining this attitude of mind in the presence of difficulties will enable you to overcome the world, the objective convictions and worldly fears and false beliefs. You shall be the one spoken of by the psalmist, and he shall be like a tree planted by the river of water that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. Psalms 1:3. Next, Lord, it goes on, the prayer that gives you serenity in this changing world. And it goes like this. Again, the prayer that gives you serenity in the changing world, prayer goes like this. It goes, peace begins with me. The serenity and peace of cosmic power fills my mind. The spirit of goodwill goes forth from me to all mankind. I dwell in the secret place of the Most High. I claim sincerely and lovingly that all members of my family and all my associates and all people everywhere are divinely guided in their true expression in life, where they are divinely happy and prospered in all ways. The cosmic river of peace moves through my mind and heart, and I radiate peace and goodwill to all people everywhere. I am always enveloped and surrounded by an infinite circle of right action and divine love. I affirm and boldly claim with confidence the faith that the wisdom of God and his cosmic wisdom anoints my intellect. I am inspired from on high. I see harmony where discord is. I see peace where pain is, love where hatred is, joy where sadness is, the life where so-called death is. My loved ones and associates are included in my prayer, and the circle of God's love permeates their whole beings. If I have had trouble with another, I freely forgive him or her now. I completely let go of all bitterness and hostility. I see the image of God in others and wish that for that person's health, happiness, peace, and the blessings of eternal cosmic wisdom. I give freely of my love, my wisdom, and my understanding, and my wealth, distributing through the divine direction the riches of the infinite to others. The peace of God, which passeth all understanding, fills my mind and heart now and forevermore. Change and decay all around I see. O thou who changeth not, abide with me. And that is chapter 15. Man, what a powerful chapter, don't you think? It's great. So I enjoyed that chapter. I don't know about you, but there was a lot of you know, to me, a lot of things that come back to the whole, you know, I guess in my personal journey, in the chapters and the stories that we read there, it talks about being with oneself, coming together with you, your own self, in silence and in prayer and in meditation. And in that silence is where you find answers to your adversities, to your problems, to the next phase of your life, if you will. You know what I mean? So it's real. I can really relate to all those stories because it's something that I practice. It's something that I practice in my own journey, to sit in silence and meditate, whether I'm chanting prayers in that meditation time or doing some breath work in that meditation time, whatever type of technique of meditation that I decide to choose for that day, it is something that has allowed me to get clarity, has allowed me to find answers to what I need to do, what the next move in my life is going to be, and it's great to have that feeling of your energies in line. And when your energies are in line, man, I tell you what, your thought process is so much clearer. I mean, it's hard to explain, but it's like you just have this vast, like your brain is just so wide open that it's grabbing all this beautiful and good energy. You know what I mean? And it allows you to think really, I mean, you're just keen on everything. You know what I mean? It's almost like your like, quote unquote, your spidey senses are heightened up, if you will. You know what I mean? So you really understand a lot of things in a different perspective of living through you, but through the cosmic power of the divinity through you, if that makes any sense to anybody. Man, that was a powerful chapter. I really enjoyed that. And I was just talking. I happened to. There was a few people. They had this whole thing set up today with a bunch of herbalists and meditators and mediums and people that are that live their life through energies and that sort of thing. There was different booths set up here when I arrived at the library, and there was one booth that I went to, and they were talking about let me see. Let me grab that paper real quick so I can show you guys. And it was talking about International Remote Viewing Association, and which was kind of cool to me because according to this is it's a way of showing somebody how to use your mind to view things that are, in other words, it's like let me see, what does this thing say? It is a okay, it doesn't give the definition, but according to the woman, what they do is they are helping people to understand things of how to live through your cosmic powers and energies, and to move your life and navigate them in the right way so that you stay on a positive in line with your energy field. You know what I mean? Because what a lot of people don't know is that when you're feeling negative, when you're feeling depressed, when you're feeling anything other than joyful, happy, and content, peace, calm, serenity, mindfulness, enlightenment, when you're not feeling those feelings, that means your energy levels are somewhere misaligned. You know what I mean? Something's misaligned in your life, and you got to find out what energy that is so that you can bring it back in line and now you're flowing right, you know what I mean? And instead of being here and here, you're pulled one way or the other. That's not where you want to be. You want to be straight in line so that your life is meshing well, you know what I mean? And in that, and doing meditation, doing prayer, being in silence with oneself and that sort of thing, it's part of that, you know what I mean? So it's a good way to ground yourself into the energies of Mother Earth and the divinity, and a good way to start your day, you know what I mean? Which is great, because I start my days like that, you know what I mean? I start my day like that, and I end my day, and throughout the day, if there's any type of adversity, anything that, gets my emotions riled up in one way, shape, form, or the other, that's getting myself away from that, line of frequencies of good energies, then I know what to do, and how to get back to him. And I do that. I'll be meditating, throughout the day, or throw in some prayers or whatever. It doesn't have to be long. A couple of minutes here, a couple of minutes there. It's all it takes. But and nonetheless, it's great exercise. It's healthy. So why not? If something's positive and healthy and spiritual, then why not incorporate that into your life? And replace some of that those negative things that are bounding you down, or some of those negative things that you keep thinking about in your thought process, and replacing them with with good cosmic and spiritual positive energy. You know what I mean? That's a great exchange. You know what I mean? I would take that any day of the week, man. So, but yeah, the chapter was great, man. I really enjoyed reading that chapter today. It was a lot of informative stuff, a lot of inspiring stories. So I hope that today, something was inspiring for somebody who's watching the video. So I really appreciate you guys watching, man. But at any rate, I guess that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you for tuning in and watching another one of my episodes. I really appreciate it. If you would please give me a thumbs up, shoot me a comment, and if there's anything that you guys want me to discuss, leave them in the comments, man. And again, please hit that subscribe button. All you gotta do is boom, tap that button. Just know that when you tap that button, it doesn't cost you a thing, man. But just know that when you do tap and subscribe to the channel and share the channel, you'll be helping out another veteran, another homeless person, another person dealing with PTSDs, childhood traumatic experiences, drug addiction, alcoholism, stress, depression, anger, sadness, because I, my friends, have dealt with all of those things at one point in time in my life, and I do know that there's a way out and a way to be healed from that stuff. So it's the whole purpose of sharing on this channel is to share encouraging words of and that may help somebody, you know what I mean? So again, thank you for watching, and I guess God bless you guys, man. I really appreciate you guys watching. I guess until the next time on When the Smoke Clears, I am the Recovery Plug.